Yeah, we about to go out in Windsor and set up for the podcast. A little interview, a little documentary, a little short clip on my man Beef podcast. Coming soon. Have a blessed day. Peace from SHONDU, Magnetic Great God of Law.
Welcome to In the House Entertainment, man. Of course, you know who I am, and if you don't, it's cool. Trent Leo Beef Bellamy. We got my man over here, SHONDU, from Brownsville, Brooklyn, man. And today, we're gonna learn about how the streets was in his days and time. SHONDU, Brownsville. Yes, so this is my first question, because when I met you about 10 years ago, and we was in the trenches, and we was doing our little talk thing, and we know some of the same people. I was like, shit. I think you was testing me to see was I really from Brooklyn, and I'm throwing it back at you, see if you really from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Until we both just said, fuck it, we gave up. We know we both was from around the way.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah, so like in your days and times, because you got me by a couple years, so like what was life like when you was coming up? Because motherfuckers know you, man. SHONDU Allah from the Nation of Islam, or was it from
the Nation of Gods and Earth?
Gods and Earth. All right, I had to make sure. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, yeah. So
my attribute is SHONDU, Magnetic Great God of Law.
Hey, my mistake. Great God Allah.
Yes, sir.
I'm just be fishing Allah, but so
For real.
So when you was when did you get conscious? How about that?
I was about knowledge, understanding, about 13 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and my oldest brother, Allah Shah King AZ, he was introduced to the Nation of Gods and Earth through the God Infinite, who's currently going by the name Shabazz, and the God of Law You Justice, who was one of Farrakhan's ministers out of East New York, from what I understand.
Okay.
And it was Kawan Allah, it was Rashan Allah, and Rashan, he joined the Nation of Islam also.
Okay.
And at that time, it was just about being conscious, I had to understand, that knowledge is the activation of one's own intelligence. Knowledge is the supreme being, black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, the father of civilization, and
cream
God
of
of
the
the universe. And then you have wisdom, which is the wise words being spoken by a wise man or woman. And also represents women. Knowledge and and wisdom, all being born to 3, which is understanding.
So, do you realize, like being conscious, it helps us out with the younger generations because they gravitate to us because they feel like, not when I say on their level, not on their level in a lower way, but on a level as far as communication.
Yeah, it's a good way of communicating with the young people because their minds is like a sponge. They sucking up everything that they hear, and if through our mentorship, giving one knowledge of self, they have a clear understanding and a path they should walk in.
That's right.
Which is a righteous path. Many shall come, but only a few shall be chosen.
That's right.
You feel?
That's
and
right.
At the end of the day, it's the consequences for our deeds and our actions was what we got to pay for.
But do you feel and understand that you one of the chosen ones? Because once you get over 50 and we live the life we live and we still hanging around, it's like, damn, is we ghosts or is we really here?
I feel like I'm one of the chosen ones because of all the trials and tribulations I've been through and some of the pitfalls that I dodged in my life that could have made my life even worse. The 6 years I spent in the penitentiary for drug trafficking. When I was a youth, I was entertained by elders in my family that had mad work, and God bless Mad Max, George Davis, men like that, Carl Bazemore, he was God body. You had Zeke, you had them down the hill, and you had Donnie and them up the hill, and I was right there, sucking it all in, being a part of it. The MOP posse, the Mash Out posse, those are my original peoples.
Okay.
Fame, Billy Dance, A-Man, all of them we used to hustle with in the back of that hallway where A-Man grew up with when we was kids. God bless his brother Malik, which is Fame's older brother that was taken from us at a young age when we was youths. You also had in that building Scoop and Scrap, and Big Daddy Kane used to come through Prospect Plaza on the regular, and you had so many legends that I rubbed hands with growing up.
Did you? So you say you about to be 50, so you're 57 right now.
Yeah.
So did you make it to the gang activity, or you was
Well, it been like this here, I consider myself a God body, knowledge of self, 5% nation. You feel what I'm saying? And we wasn't no gang,
right?
But at the end of the day, you had brothers that was in Bloods and Crips and other affiliations.
Yeah, I should have restated it. What I mean is before that, when you had the real gangs of New York
back in the days when you had. When you had the Jolly Stompers.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You had Akbar and them down the hill and
that's what the fuck I'm talking.
Tomahawks and all that. All that was going down. The crazy bishops, the Hispanic gangs.
Right.
They all used to be right there.
Was you affiliated with the gangs back then?
Well,
if you was 3 to 5 years old,
I knew everybody.
Right.
But I was also had an older brother that led me to go down this way, and not get in that trouble.
And it was kind of fading out.
Yeah. I remember at my young age coming out of Broadway Junction train station, and it was about 60 Puerto Rican brothers, all from what was that gang called? I just called it out. The Crazy Bishops. The Crazy Bishops. They used to hang right there in Helly and Kellyhan Park on East New York and Fulton, out of East New York, right on Fulton Street and Eastern Parkway. They just redid that park. We spent like $1 million on that park.
So you said, because I got to bring it back up.
Yeah,
what was the name of them again?
The Crazy Bishops.
Crazy Bishops, okay.
Yeah, you had the homicides, the suicides, the Crazy Bishops, and you had the Jolly Stompers. You had about 5 different gangs.
See, the only names I can remember is Jolly Stompers and the Tomahawks.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Well, those was the ones that really
those the
bad
main
stopped
dogs.
Brownsville. You talking about Hispanic gangs too, bro? That
Yeah,
was not
but
to be
they-
played
they-
with
they-
and not to be taken.
I know we had one.
Granted for.
We had a when I was in elementary school in 159, PS 159. The Hardy Boy. I don't know if it was the Hardy Boys or Artie Boy. I
was the Hardy Boys. I remember them. I remember
them niggas.
Yeah.
I'm in 159. I'm in regular shit, and I'm going to school with little brothers of the Hardy Boys, and they mad tough ass Puerto Rican niggas.
Yeah.
Man, we in elementary school. Niggas was tough though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and then the Hardy Boys used to come up there after school, pick their little brother up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo. You know what I mean? But you know, it was what it was. See, you know, see, on my block side of things, I came up with the Pine Posse, you know, and that was the side block headquarters. You feel what I'm saying? They held it down for the side blocks on my side, being in the middle hub of Cypress, Pink House, and Plaza and shit like that. You know what I mean? Bunch of West Indians of all islands. You know what I mean? But yeah, but you know,
well, with me, I grew up right. It's a block it's called Hall Street in Mother Gaston. You know, which used to be Stone Avenue back in the day.
That's right.
You know, but that's where, you know, I used to hustle at when I was a kid growing up. That's one of the places, you know, that I got my first street knowledge. You know, and that was boy we was doing back in them days. You know what I mean? Girl and boy, but the boy they had this workout there called Gucci, and the Gucci was good for like 25, 30 bundles a morning. You know, like I was serving pitch.
That was straight heroin.
Straight heroin when I was a kid, man. I was like 15 years old, 16 years old. And I had morning shift. That's when TNT was just forming.
That's how we start.
That's before the white van even became the white van. They used to go around from project to project and precinct to precinct picking up brothers.
We have to give our thanks to Queens niggas for that shit. Cause the Queens niggas invented that TNT shit, man.
Yeah, but these was a rough time, you know, but it was a good time too, cause it wasn't cameras on the corners. It wasn't a lot of camera phones. It was a lot of hand to hand, and I was sitting out there with binoculars on my chest.
So check this out.
I was a kid, man.
Check this out. How can you? It can't even be done. The high tech is different, and then the era we came up is different. So our mentality is different, no matter which kind of way we try to think and shit. But we can't, goddamn. I know I can't. I can't go back to my teenage years. In 2025, it did never work.
Nah, I could never do that again.
I'll be walking around here paranoid, man. There's too many cameras, like you said. And then I don't know how cats still be doing what they do. But a lot of these cats nowadays, man.
Well, that's what made me leave the east and come to the north, you know, because it was so fast in New York City, you know, and it was a time where money was hand over fist, you know. It wasn't nothing for you to make $1,000 a day or $10,000 a week back then in cash. You feel me? And split it among 10 or 15 men. You know the boss gonna get the most. You know, but you so happy to be part of something, and you eating off of your own grind. You know, even though I was a working man always, my dad was always about work. Taught me how to use a ruler, taught me how to use tools, put carpentry skills into me, you know, but I had elders in my family that was getting that fast money, and I wanted a part of it at that young age because I didn't see the carelessness in it. I didn't see the people that would be aided up from the drug epidemic, your neighbors.
They call it young, dumb, and blind.
Yeah. You know, I was in it for we getting ready to go to 42nd Street, turn up every Friday night. Of course. You know. Of course. Go to Coney Island and turn up.
Listen, man, what we went through is what made us now.
Yeah.
You know? So you ever you got some close homies from the East New York? I mean, I know you know cats, but
I know cats, but right now I would say no. You know, but I'm Ocean Hill, I'm Queensboro, you know. Kingsborough Project.
Oh, Kingsborough Project.
Yeah.
Ocean Hill.
Had a crib in Kingsborough too.
All the way down the hill.
Yeah, but I lived in Prospect Plaza. I lived in Ocean Hill, and I lived in Kingsborough. And I lived downtown in White.
You just all over fucking Brooklyn.
Well, I had cribs.
It's alright. I ain't paying East New York no mind. It's alright.
Nah, East New York.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Look. My cousin Ross Stacks, he from East New York.
Okay.
You know, and he got a club in Pennsylvania now. Everybody know that Uncle Murder and everybody be at his club.
Okay. Alright.
You know, they all know Ross Stacks. That's family.
No doubt.
And his brother, you know what I mean, LB. Them some real good brothers. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
I give all love to the East New York, you know, because that's my man Tiki, my man Tommy. He got the Voice of Brooklyn, you know, right outside the East New York train station. He's selling mad clothes.
Okay.
He got good quality boots. You know, he got a lot of things going on. And he do promotions.
He outside the junction?
He right outside the junction. When you come through the junction, you see all them clothes. Yeah. I used to be right there with him at a time. And I had invested money with him at a time. And then before I left New York, you know, I took a lot of clothes and shit and came down here and started messing with Six, the guard, out in Janesville, selling clothes. Right. So he gave me a lot of true good attributes on how to sell clothes and how to market myself. And he's doing good to this day. You know, he has his health problems, but he always maintained and he always put God first in his life. So big up for Big Tiki.
Yeah.
From the block.
Big up. Yeah, well, I know you're a good guy, man, and like I said, man, we still living. You see, shout out to my stepson. Today's his birthday. He died in September. You know, I'm about to go to his graveyard site and release some balloons for him.
Happy heavenly birthday, young brother.
And Donnie G, man, rest in peace. I love you, brother. My son.
And rest in peace, Irv Gotti.
Yeah, definitely.
He was a legend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
I didn't know that brother. Did you happen to know that brother?
I used to go to school in Queens, and I ran into him on Rockaway Boulevard by the White Castle and shit back in the days and shit.
Okay.
And we just crossed paths vividly in line at White Castle.
I got you. So you went to school in Queens too?
Yeah, I went to John Adams High School.
Oh shit, you was in there with John Gotti's son probably.
Yeah, exactly. hey, I kid you no lie. I used to sell weed to them boys back in the days, loose joints when we was kids.
Yeah.
You know, and the God Infinite from Ocean Hill, he was the first brother from Ocean Hill to go to that school, you know.
Yeah, cause that was kind of.
He has a hell of a story to tell too, but I would let him tell his story in his own time.
No doubt.
You know, but I know that he left a torch to me, and I carried the torch, until I got out.
So it's only right.
Yeah.
It's only right.
But it was an interesting time because you had the Italians, you had the whites, you had a lot of prejudiceness going on at the same time, and then you had that young black boy that was out there that they chased across the Cross Bay, and he got killed. Yusuf Hawkins or something.
No.
What was his name?
That was but I don't remember the name. But that was the Cross Bay situation.
Yeah, I think it was Yusuf Hawkins.
No, that wasn't Yusuf Hawkins. See, Yusuf Hawkins is from the East.
Yeah, well,
but they call him in Brighton Beach somewhere.
Yeah, well, this dude, he was running and got
hit
by the car. It was crazy. Yeah, but that was the year I was out there. 2 or 3 dudes. Yeah. And their car broke down. And they was just, you know. I know they chased him.
Yeah.
He got hit by a car. It was tragic. He lost a life.
And that was my first time of acknowledging a racism activity. Because we wasn't going through that shit in New York City like that. Not to the point where a motherfucker getting killed.
Look, it was so serious that...
Because that happened before Yusuf Hawkins.
Look, some of my Italian and Greek friends that I grew up with at John Adams High School, we got real close, you know. And they used to, like, come with me back to my house. I want to show you my house, you know. And one in particular named Gerardo, his family owned a meat market on Rockaway Boulevard and shit. And I used to always go to his meat market and shit.
So his parents was cool with that?
His parents was cool, but when I went to his house, they didn't want me to come in through the front door. They asked him to always bring me through the back door. But when I got in the house, they would always, because they had a deli, bro. They had their own cold cuts, everything. I would go back to his crib, bro, and we would
make
play
heroes and all kind of shit.
Everything, bro. This brother, to this day, if he alive, man, he the truth.
No doubt.
Gerardo.
No
Greek.
doubt.
They had a deli right there, but they put the right now where that deli used to be, they put up a casino right there on Rockaway Boulevard in Queens. It's a big casino.
Oh no, you talking about with the racetrack, horse track?
Aqueduct. Yeah, Aqueduct.
Yeah,
now they built the big gambling place out there.
Yeah.
So it's not there no more.
I thought they still race horses.
They still race horses. I'm talking about the store. The deli was right there in that where they tore all that shit down.
I got you, my guy. Yeah. Hell yeah.
But it was like real life. You would have to come through a separate door. Like just walking through the Italians' front door at the time, for him and the Greeks, no, he was a moolie. Bring that nigga through the back.
Yeah. So out of these different projects, you lived at Ocean Hill, Prospect Plaza, Kingsborough,
and Whitecourt downtown.
Yeah. That's like Fort Greene, everything. It's different.
Yeah, well, it's for 3rd Avenue, Baltic Street.
Yeah. So which one you was more comfortable?
Well, I was staying in North Carolina. My wife during COVID, she was like, I want you to move back to New York. So I considered it, and I had thought it would be a good move. So I moved back. So I started staying downtown in the apartment that she had, and it was going well. Everything was good. But I was from Ocean Hill, so Kingsborough is literally on Ralph Avenue and Fulton, Ralph and St. Mark's.
Yeah.
And that was close in walking distance from the hood I grew up in.
Yeah, Ocean Hill.
So when she was like, my baby girl got a place, we could get over there. So I was like, all right. She said, and to be closer to where you like to be,
right,
in your hood. And plus, I was on the high floor downtown. You feel me? So sometimes the elevators would break, and it would become a problem when you got to scale more than 18 flights. You
and
feel
when
what
you're
I'm
over
saying?
50, everything counts, man.
Yeah.
So we gotta, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. So when she said, we got an opportunity to get a 2nd floor apartment at a good price, and you ain't gonna be too far from the hood you grew up in, it's walking distance. So the bell went off in my head. I was like, okay, the transition makes sense, so we went there, and I learned a lot of good people around there as well, but I'm a homebody person, I could live in a hood for 10 years and, know 10 people, what I mean?
And be good.
Be good,
I mean, cause you don't know everybody in your block in New York, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the young people, man, what kind of info can you give them to help them stay alive as old as us right now and longer? Cause they running wild, man.
I would tell the young people to get a good education, first and foremost, and stop seeing some of these so-called gangsters mess up their lives, and you glorify coming right behind them and messing up yours. Because we've been there and done that. I sat in the penitentiary for 6 or 7 years without one visit.
But that's your last bid? You're talking about
my
when you was young?
Bid, my last bid.
Did you do any bids when you was young? You never been up north?
I've been on Rikers Island. Everybody made it to Rikers Island. My pops bailed me out.
Right.
I've been in Brooklyn House for 6 or 7 days.
Okay. You never made it up north though in New York?
Never made it up north in New York because my dad and mom was like, you going down south, you getting in too much shit. Right.
You've been going down south for 50 years, nigga.
Yeah, real talk. So by coming down south, sometimes you integrate some of the same bad habits from New York.
It don't change.
And
you gotta change people, places, days. Now you gotta change yourself.
Yeah, you gotta change yourself. So I came down here and I started working first, and when that didn't work out, I started becoming an entrepreneur and selling clothes and whatever flips first. You feel me? But I had morals and values about what I chose to sell. And I definitely ain't dealing with no babies and no children and no little girls.
No doubt.
Everybody that ever came to see me was grown.
No doubt.
And responsible.
No doubt.
Don't make it no better, but it was a code of ethics that I lived by, and I still live by to this day.
No doubt, man.
These younger generation, they just jumping out here like, pop up, you know.
What makes the younger generations respect us? Because, you know, younger people, they love us. Like, what is it that they, you know, what they like about us, man?
What they like about us that we survived the storm, you know, and we don't look like hell, like we've been through hell physically.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ain't no cuts in our face. Me and you used to sleep in the same cell in the penitentiary. Back to back. You feel me? Real talk. Real talk. You know, me, you, and a few others I would care to name.
That's right.
But they ain't in this right here.
That's right.
You know? So that's the respect that me and you have. Me and you, we know what it's like when them gates slam. You feel me? When them lights go out. When you trying to lead. When you trying to read from a dim light. And straining your eyes to get a little bit more knowledge.
And it's still like that, right?
Yeah, you know. So I used to be in the penitentiary. I would just pick a bed that had a light over my bunk. You know, if I knew I could get that bed right there, that got that light right there, because I'm a man that's searching for knowledge and of self. And I'm bored because when you're doing time, you got to find something to do with your time.
That's right.
You know, you don't let the time do you.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? So me, I'm going to go to the law library. I'm going to go get me a book. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go walk the track. I ain't going to get in too much into the gambling, into the borrowing, into the lending. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't want bed bugs, so I started cutting my own hair.
That's right.
You know, so I didn't want no bugs around me, and I didn't want no punks touching me.
Of course not.
So it wasn't no reason for you to approach me about getting my hair done.
That's right.
You know, that shit was done from the beginning. You know, but it's a certain moral and code in prison that I carry that when I left the prison system, I had came home and my wife was like, you know, I went to wake you up one day and you flipped, you know, because that came from the COs tapping the foot of my motherfucking bed.
Yeah, you know how
you know how they be trying to stir your ass up.
That's right.
You know, so those characteristics after 6 years of being in the penitentiary, I had to readjust from.
Yeah.
You feel me? To this day, you know, I feel like I'm best by myself.
That's right.
You feel me? But those days, you know, when you do time, it takes something out of you. I don't care who you are. But you can't let it destroy you. You feel me? And then I had took the time to learn myself. You know, because when you sitting back on that bunk and you saying, damn, this one ain't never coming home. This one got 3 life sentences. You know, what he got to smile for. You know, you start evaluating yourself and your circumstances. So I started leveling up instead of catching write-ups and more charges in the penitentiary. Because I was just like some of the other fools that was in there. You know, I want to sell work while I'm in there. You know, trying to keep shit going.
So look, I'm looking at your clothes and I'm just fucking with you right now. You know what I mean? But if you was on the island right now and they still had regular clothes, you'd be looking like a blood right now.
I'm dressed in black. But from where I grew up at, black was just a neutral color for anybody to wear. You know, I mean, if you was doing crime, you left
out your little red though, brother.
Oh well, hey. That was just to throw off the black.
Okay. What's that red be like?
I was gonna wear red and black.
What's that red be like, black?
I had my mink on earlier. It was cool, you know what I mean? But real talk,
I'm just fucking with you.
I study a lot of things. But one thing about me, I've been wearing what color I want for years, you know. But I know certain places you go, you might get violated or you might get checked.
Just know what you're doing. Don't go into no hoods. You're looking like you belong to a certain culture, and you have the knowledge to know that you can't go. So just don't do it.
Yeah, of course.
Respect what's going on somewhere else.
I niggas OGs.
I'm always think before I act, and I respect people's. I respect people's rules and regulations because that's a code to live by. You feel what I'm saying? I mind my business and I move accordingly.
So yo,
at all times,
my brother, I'm glad I saw you. And I'm glad you came through because I snuck you in. I kidnap niggas. This is what I do, yo. I kidnap niggas. So if y'all want to lock me up, I'm telling you, I kidnap niggas. I kidnap them. We do what we do. And then, but the next time, it's going to be different and more brighter news and brighter knowledge, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, peace to the world. I love the world, even though they might not love me back, man. That's my man, SHONDU. My man, peace to the gods.
Peace.
We gone.